The hurt was more when I then discovered him, who he was, and I wanted that relationship, and that never happened.
Yeah.
You know, that's the hurtful part about it.
Man.
Yeah.
That's the hurtful part about it, and that's what unfortunately drove me to other things that I just didn't want to be. And, it somehow affected my personality.
Yeah.
You know, in terms of fathering, in terms of being a husband, in terms of it affected me in that regard.
Well, welcome to it. That other podcast, Love, Marriage, and Family Podcast with myself, Mo, and of course, this lovely lady.
Oh, of course. This actually should have been the name of the podcast, That Other Podcast. That's us. That's going to be the sub name of the podcast. Guys, thank you so much for joining us once again. We're excited to be here. You're not going to believe this. We've hit over 4,000 subscribers.
Oh, over 2 weeks, right?
In 2 weeks' time.
In 2 weeks.
So,
Wow, that's
guys,
cool.
thank you so much. We appreciate the love, the comments, everything that you've been sending us. We're excited to be bringing you exciting people every week. And this week, like any other week, we've got an amazing human being that we have the pleasure, really, of sitting down with today. And that is none other than the legendary, the super amazing, the one with the best dance moves. And that will be obviously Mncedisi, Kenneth. Nkosi!
By the way, speaking of the dance moves, what happened to the dances? Because we go on social media, you have no idea the healing you provide every week. You know, there are a lot
With
of
my Friday moves.
there are a lot of grown single ladies who are looking.
They look at me, I'm thinking,
How are your DMs?
potential. They're sliding. They're sliding. No, listen, this is a decision I made when when I turned 50 last year.
Yeah.
I turned 50 and I thought to myself, how am I celebrating myself this year? Because I'm not about just to celebrate it on the 10th of May and that's it. I decided every Friday I'm going to dance.
Yeah.
Because I'm alive.
Yeah.
Because I've hit 50.
Yeah.
You know, and I danced,
Yeah,
And
I
I
know.
kept on dancing,
Aibo.
Until what happened?
One day I was shooting a movie in Durban and I had to run in a scent, you know, and I'm not necessarily the most fittest guy in the world. And I twist my knee.
Oh, my word.
And then I covered tag, so I had to be dealing with my knee and healing my knee and all that. But I'll be back.
You better.
I'll be back.
And
He will be back.
Remember, you are 50 and you hit your knee, so you need to slow down.
Hey, Baba. Hey. This is a thing. I always say this thing. I'm 51 this year.
Yes.
Minus 25.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I keep my spirit young.
Yeah.
I dance.
That's the
I
way
have
to go.
fun. I don't take myself too serious.
Yeah.
The only people who find me serious are my kids.
Yeah.
But I'm out there to have fun. And when people saying that, no, we're not going from 50, now it's downhill. No. To me, it's like I'm joking nicely.
What if I were to say there are two people who take you serious?
Yes.
It's your kids
Who else?
and anyone who owes you money.
Yeah, definitely. Oh, I love that. You see, I love that. I mean, people. You must tell people where we come from.
Yeah.
Right? You must tell people where you come from. One thing for sure, there are actors in this industry that will come to me and say, Kenny, I've been owed money for 3 months.
Yeah.
So,
Please
cash.
help. Ula cash. So can you imagine owing me, man?
Oh my God! You know?
I don't mess around, man.
I remember you telling me a story one day of. I won't name the place, but you went to this particular broadcaster. And
Yes.
I was actually
you
thinking
were
of the
thinking
same
of
thing.
that, and that was owing you money, and you literally went there. You told me you took literally
Laptops.
Yeah, laptops.
I went there. I was like, okay, fine. We cannot be dealing with this.
Yeah.
Right? So I get into the offices and they're there and like, hi, Kenny. Hi. I'm looking at them. Where is the guy?
Yeah.
But the guy is not there. No. The guy is here. I know this guy's outside.
Yeah.
So the guy is here.
Yeah.
No, they are not listening to me. I went and unplugged.
Oh, my word.
I think I had 3 laptops walking towards my car. Did he not come back after me? He came after me running.
To pay.
Yeah.
I'm like, get baba. And it was way back when you were still being paid my checks.
Yeah.
So he wrote a check for me, and I'm like, I'm not trusting you.
Yeah.
I'll bring them back after cashing the check because I might get there, it might bounce.
And it
Oh,
bounces.
wow.
That time, their production stopped.
Oh my
until
goodness.
I came back to give them their
laptops and stuff.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
Needless to say, they never worked with me again.
Of course, that's exactly what happens. But you know what, Kenneth, I want us to take it back.
Yeah.
We've known you for many, many years.
Wow, yeah, man.
But I think, oh, geez. Oh, I didn't realize.
Oh, look at that.
Oh,
Okay, you guys have known each other for many, many
for
years.
a long time.
even starting the
A long
same
time.
day.
Come on.
But I think, you know, what we owe everyone who's watching
Right.
is to understand exactly who you are,
Yes.
where you are from.
Yeah.
You know, I think let's take it back. You know, who is Kenneth and where were you born?
Kenneth Nkosi, Kenneth Mncedisi.
Oh, Mncedisi,
Because
please.
people that know me well, they'll
Yes.
call me Mncedisi.
Mncedisi, yes.
When I walk down town and people say, Kenny, I know, fan.
Yeah, yeah.
Once Mncedisi, I tell
Yes.
very quickly.
Yes.
Umtakazodwa lo.
Yes.
Umtakazodwa Nkosi ubuya eRockville.
Okay.
Yes.
Mankosi.
Yes.
I was born there, raised there, and I think I left home when I was about 19, 20 to go and fend for myself and go and stay in Hillbrow and all that. But
Yeah.
my upbringing and everything comes from Soweto,
Yeah.
Rockville. From a very big family. You know, we come from those families where we grew up in Ngakoko.
Yeah.
You know, where everyone
Everyone in one house.
We're
Oh,
all in one
jeez, I
house.
remember
I'm
that.
literally sleeping under the table, a kitchen.
yeah.
But there was nothing like, go to your room.
Yeah, no.
And there was nothing about
If you
being
say go
angry
to your room,
and running to your room.
You can't run to your room and be angry and bang the door like they do these days. No. When you have to go to bed or sleep, everybody must be done so that you can be able to take a space under the table in the kitchen.
Yeah.
And mama basi camera and and malume camera like, you know, it was a full house. It was a full house, but very warm.
yeah.
Very prayerful house. I mean, my grandmother was Mzioni.
Yeah.
You know, the most fascinating was every Friday because no kokobeyano kusebenza emakitchen and aboma kanjalo.
Yeah.
Sometimes when they come back after babuya and ekuzothenga ama chicken likini, ama KFC kanjalo, and there'll be a lot of singing.
Yeah.
And the stuff samalahle and it's like welcome
Yes,
over, yo.
yes.
And yo, it was one of those best moments of my life. That's what shaped me. It's unfortunate that as we grow, we lose that. You know,
that's so
as parents pass and grannies pass, we all separate and live in our own lives and get married to other people and not keep that together. You know, and I mean, I know that there are a lot of families that have been able to do it. It's been a bit of a struggle with mine. We've tried over the years, and I think we'll keep on trying because. What's more fascinating for us now is not even about me and my cousins, it's more about our children. Our children are gravitating towards each other more than us, and which is the most amazing thing. So that's where I come from. That's the streets, as they say. You know, and that's where my passion started of acting and stuff like that. You know, because we grew up very protected, Tina. Lento zepolitiki lezi bowutshelwa nje ekhaya nje ungazolinga nje usise amaphoyisa la ekhaya. You know, as much as I don't think they're very politically conscious, but very scared. And I was a young man who was not necessarily very brave. I was not the one to be throwing stones and being my llama.
At the forefront.
No. The comrade thing to me was not. So what happened, Uti, during that time, which was the 80s when I was a youth, teenager maybe, there was youth clubs. There's a lot of youth clubs, which are, unfortunately, that's what our kids don't have right now.
And we're losing that as well.
Unfortunately, they are just doing that, you know, and YouTubing and all that. Tina, we used to go out to dance and sing and, you know, being trained in leadership, being, you know, so we had a place called the Necro, which is a crime institute for crime prevention and rehabilitation of offenders. So basically what they tried to do there was to try and prevent crime in its primary level. So basically not wait for you to be a criminal,
crime.
you know? So engage you in things that, you know,
will prevent
you from getting there. And which helped a lot to some of us. We had great people coming to teach us. Abantu abafana boRamla Makhene the late, about Sol Rachilo, you know, about Atam Lepo. We had a lot of great people coming. I think there's a project called Joint Enrichment Project, and they were given money to do those projects. Makasi, you know, to try and educate and keep the young people busy. And I was one of those people. And that's when the acting part caught me.
The love for acting.
Sorry, and then obviously with growing up and so on, and you say you left home around 20.
Yeah,
20,
19, I think,
20, you know, and then what were you doing in Hillbrow at that age? Tender age.
I will tell you this. I will tell you this. My mother got very sick at some point as I was growing up. I think she was hospitalized for a month or so. And there was 5 of us, my siblings. And I was looking at this situation and going, what if this lady dies? What's going to happen to me? But me, I was one of those, you know, I'm in the middle. I was just on a shorter finger, but I'm the middle child, black sheep and stuff like that.
Gotcha.
Guy who was always self-motivated. A guy who wanted to do things by his own. Independent. The guy who went on to do wrong things, a lot of wrong things, and I could not do them at home. So it was easy to get out. You know, but I think what motivated me more, it was seeing my mother being sick and thinking if she dies, then I'm in trouble. Then I'm not going to be able, so I needed to start my life somehow. You know, she passed away eventually in 2012, but then I was old enough. I had my own family at the time. You know, and I'm always grateful to God that God kept her that long for me to learn from her as well. Because my grandmother played a big role as well in bringing me up. And I remember when she passed away, I think I must have been 14, 13. That was my first experience of death.
Sure.
You know, and feeling pain in that way. Okay, I knew the pain, but feeling pain that was deep and all that. So, and when my mother was the one left, I knew that I wanted her closer to me. But I knew again that my grandmother died. So it's possible that she can die too. So when that happens, you know, we're not very humble beginnings, to be honest. My mother used to earn about 250 a week, but for some reason, she was able to take us all to school, feed us, and make sure that we are okay. Right? Maybe 250 was bigger then, but even then, for 5 kids to take care of, and I was very demanding. I wanted things, you know, and I knew that she was not going to be able to afford those things. So I needed to go out and start my career. I mean, Hillbrow at the time, a flat was, what, 400 rand a month?
That's a lot of
400 rand a month. And I started working at the Civic Theatre. We used to do children's theatre in the foyer there. I was getting paid about 250 a week. So over a month, about,
you afford.
You know, I could afford to do that. And buy curtains, buy little fridge, go to a pawn shops and buy two-plate stove and all that. And I'm proud to say that after that, I've never went back home. I never went back home. And, well, I go back to visit, but not to stay. Not to stay, because I just love my independence. You know, the fact that when you're a young man and you're developing funny habits like smoking and and the drinking and all that, and you knew that you cannot do it at home. You know, so that was a safe space for me to do that. I mean, Namaja, I get surprised sometimes when I see people just drinking in front of their parents. I'm like, Mina,
really?
I'm telling you, not even my kids will do that. You know, because to me, I'm thinking that respect is what got us to where we're at right now, some of us. You know, right now you can just see kids hugging and kissing in public, and there's nothing wrong with that. But at the time, Ubaba said next door was the one who's going to thrash you before taking you to your mother, and then they both thrash you. You know what I mean?
You had no chance, really.
So I'm that guy. I'm that apartheid guy. So I know tear gas. I know tear gas.
And then the entertainment industry, when... Obviously, you from childhood, you've always been, you know, part of, you know, theatre in the township. But when did it become real for you, where it was like, okay, you know what, I'm going mainstream, I'm going television? When did that happen?
I think it happened in high school for me. When I was in high school, I can never say I was dumb. I refuse to say I was dumb.
No, let's have a different way. You were challenged.
No, not even.
Mentally.
Not even. No,
what was the name for it?
I think what was it? It was, I was not interested.
Okay.
I don't think I was interested in anything that they were teaching me. Because my passion was this theatre thing. right? So I wanted to rush out of the school and go to drama group and all that, until a guy called Fiso Ziqub was introduced to our school. The guy was a Zulu teacher. He was from KwaZulu-Natal, and he ran away during the violence there, and he came in Joburg. What was telling in what he preached about the shashalazi, which was stage. Shashalazi, so you used to make a stand and perform in front of the class and all that. And that to me, that's when I was alive. And I remember, you're talking about a guy that grew up with low self-esteem. And there was then one thing that I could do better than anybody else.
Oh, wow.
And all of a sudden, my character was like, you are. You know, then you could not tell me, because I'll defend myself quickly.
Also, you've always been a stool.
Healthy. Yeah, biggest of us. No, you know, and with low self-esteem and all that. And that guy came in, and I approached him one time after class, and I said, can't you organize a group where we can all do this together?
Oh, wow.
You know, with other kids that are interested in doing it after school. Because we can't do soccer, we can't do netball, all that. That's what we're interested in. And they said, yes, I would love that.
Oh, wow.
We started doing that. Little did he know that he was sending me out of school. You know, and all the teachers started blaming him for me not listening, not paying attention and all that. Because all I was interested in was scholars pumanini so that you can act. That's what I wanted to do. And then it came the part where there's a metric thing that's supposed to happen. And I failed obviously dismally and all that. And then I decided, no, I'm not doing this. I want a school that will teach me what I like doing. I think that's what the decision. And I literally stopped going to school, and my mother wanted to kill me. And obviously the teachers were not impressed because I think I was not the best student. They liked me, just they thought that I was misled by this teacher. And this guy was like, that's good. And he took me to competitions around the country, you know, with kids from private schools and all that, and I was winning competitions and we've not coming second and all that. And that's when I knew I really, really wanted to do this. And we actively wanted the school to go and study. But now I could not go to VETS, I could not go to UCT, I could not go to any technical. I did not have my trade.
Certificate.
Of course, the certificate, you know. And then there was this one school that somebody suggested was the Market Theatre Laboratory. A school that was established by Dr. John Kani and the late Pani Simon, where they just accepted people that with talent. And I had an opportunity to go and audition, and I met a guy called Tale Mncedisi, who was one of the guys that used to train me, went back then in the township. And I went there and I aced it, and then started training at the Market Theatre Laboratory. You know, I mean, I started working while I was training. Because they you know, when people were interested in having young students, they will come to school and they dragged me. And I remember doing my first television appearance, not even a television appearance, it was a video. I did it with Lillian Dube. It was about AIDS and HIV. The late Tebogo Mahlatsi directed it from Free Filmmakers. That was the first production that I've ever done. And I knew that there was no stopping me. Well, first production as a main character. Before that, I was in Lillian Dube's agency. Lillian Dube had an agency.
Oh, she did?
She was an agent.
Oh, wow.
Mfulo, Soweto. I started there as an extra in a movie called Taxi to Soweto with Patricia and all that. And then the other one was Ipintombi. I did that. But me, I was not interested in being an extra. To me, it was about being in that film environment and looking at the cables and the cameras and all the fascination about that. And that made me want to do more. And that's basically how it started.
And Mziwa 26?
That came later.
That came much later.
Much later.
much later. That came later when I actually started knowing how to even produce and all that. That came much later. Before that, there was a lot of theater. Because what I did with my career, and I did it deliberately, and it was something that I knew I needed to do. I pictured everything that happened in my life. So I knew that my first performance was going to be in the school hall. and then everybody was going to be watching me and going crazy with this guy. He's talented, right? And performing in front of my mother, and I saw her crying, and I'm like, whoa, fascinated. So I could be able to do this. And then I knew that I was going to go down to a community hall. Community hall where the community is going to watch me. And I knew I wanted to go to the Market Theatre in the small stage. Then a medium stage, then a main stage, and that. And I did that for some time before I could actually even go into television. Because I wanted to master this one before I could move on. You know, maybe the question of me not very mentally I can't multitask. You know, can I just do one thing and get it right?
You're not the only one.
So when I started TV, it was with Isetingo. When I was in 1998, you know, that's when I started TV. Then I went on to do TV for a long time. Then I went on to the movies. Then I started wanting to produce and then writing and all that. So everything was step by step. You know? And I'm not saying by any means that anybody that does them all together is wrong. I'm not saying that. But to me, I always
this is you,
my journey, and I believe that you have to be a god at something. You know, you've got to be good at something so bad that people now recognize you for this one thing. You know, this one thing is I'm an actor before I'm anything else. That's what I love. That's my passion. Everything else comes because in the industry you can't just survive with one thing. You've got to do more than one.
Correct. So with your journey, you know, having began Rockville and everywhere all the way to the
Market Theatre Lab.
Well, yes.
You mean
Hillbrow, yes. I heard you mentioning, you know, the man next door would be your disciplinary, discipline, your school teacher and so on. I don't hear you talking about fathers.
Well, father, those are my fathers.
You know,
actually, those are my fathers. Those are the people that I looked up to because mine, unfortunately, was absent. You know, mine was never there. And which is something that I had to deal with for a longest time in my life. But I had to get to a point where I'm like, you know, I forgive him. He had to deal with whatever that he had to deal with. Right?
That you knew nothing about.
Well, I was not a priority at the time. No, but then I learned from, which is why I always say that when people say that I'm a single mother and I'm a single father, I always think that, but that's not true.
No, that's not true.
That's not true. There's so many people around that you can use as a role model, that you can use to help your son. Or which is why when people say that, I mean, it's Happy Father's Day and Happy Mother's Day at the same time. No, you cannot be a mother and a father.
No, it's impossible.
There's a mother and there's a father.
Two absolutely great mothers can never play the role of a father.
Amazing.
You know, and other way around. You know, two great fathers
can never play
the role that the mother plays.
And to me that I knew that my uncle was a good guy, but you know, he liked his drink, and he was a very quiet guy. He was not somebody that could share a lot with.
Correct.
My big brother was more of a and very strict in that way and all that. But we never had a closest relationship where we could be able to talk about everything, me reaching puberty and him advising me on things. We never had a relationship like that. So I found those people outside home. You know, I found them with my neighbors. I find them with Mrs. Kubu. I find them in church, you know, and the people that I molded myself around, right? Because they were not perfect people either. You know, they were great husbands, maybe not the greatest fathers. And Omunye is a great father, maybe not a great husband. I took a little bit of this and a little bit of that from different people to try and make the father that I am today, which is definitely perfect. It's not perfect by no means. So the father was not there. And it's been a struggle that, and I know that I'm not the only one. A lot of people went through that. I think the hurt was more when I then discovered him, who he was, and I wanted that relationship, and that never happened. You know, that's the hurtful part about it. That's the hurtful part about it, and that's what unfortunately drove me to other things that I just didn't want to be. And it somehow affected my personality. You know, in terms of fathering, in terms of being a husband, in terms of when it affected me in that regard, because I wanted to prove so bad that I can do better than this guy.
In fact, it takes me to my next question, because one of the things that I know you for is how present you are in your children. I mean, which is quite amazing for a black guy, and we obviously pick up for you for doing that.
Yeah.
Could that be the reason you really are so close to your kids, because you've gone through this and you don't want your children to experience the same?
I grew up in a township where there was single mothers or mothers with more kids without a father and all that, but there were other families that were few that had mother and father. That looks so good.
That looks good.
That looked so good to me. And I remember a friend of mine, Mncedisi, Malaza right now, we grew up together, and I remember we used to have dreams about the cars that we're going to be driving and our families and how when we go to town and all that, and we're going to take them to the movies and all that. We dreamed about all that, and that's what we wanted. Because one thing I know is that I never had that.
Yeah.
With him, he had his grandparents.
Yeah.
Right? The parent, the other father, the mother was overseas and the father was somewhere else.
Yeah.
And we wanted that for ourselves. You know, we knew that we were going to be family friends and we'll visit each other and never cry.
Yeah.
Well, beautiful dreams, right? So I knew that I wanted that for my children. I wanted my kids to be able to live in a stable environment and all that. But then I did not know how to go about it.
Got you.
Right? As much as you can say right now, I'm a present father. Present is it's a very tricky word.
Relative.
It's relative. You know, how present am I really? You know? Remember, I'm also brought up in an environment where a child is a child is a child. No questioning, no whatever. You do what we tell you, and that's about it, right? Yeah. So that's me now becoming a father, doing the same thing.
Got you.
Right?
Got you.
So the communication with my kids started breaking. For a very long time. As much as people will see me, I love my children to bits, and I knew that when I first divorced, and the first thing was my kids. Can I have them? Can I be that father? Who is present in their lives?
Raising them.
You know, raising them. Because I was blessed with girls. You know, I've got 4 girls. You know, I was blessed with girls, and I knew that they will need me. I knew that they'll need me more as a father to try to navigate this life, right? Me going out to Hillbrow as a gent is different from my daughter going to Hillbrow.
That is totally different.
Completely different.
Yeah.
So I knew that I wanted to prevent that from happening.
Yeah.
You know? Now they are grown-ups. Now they challenge me. Now they tell me, scruff. And I'm like, hey,
I would love to see that.
You know? And we're just talking now about COVID, with how bad COVID was. Financial and otherwise. But there was something positive about COVID at the same time.
Yeah.
For the first time, I started having real conversations with my daughters.
Yes.
You know?
So good.
For the first time, I have not been able to tell them what happened to the marriage between me and their mom. Right? Especially the first 2 girls. You know, because they're the oldest. Then we're able to say and talk about stuff like that. And so that I never wanted to paint their mother in a bad light, correct?
That's so important.
No, I did not. I said my say about what I feel, what happened, but I also wanted to ask your mom about, because I was no angel at the same time, right?
Yeah,
because
her side of the story, really.
You know, and that helped to a large degree, because now they are able to say things. As much as I'm a strict father, I'm not that funny guy at home.
Yeah.
For some people, they find it impossible.
Can I tell you one thing about you?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. I think people kind of mistake the TV
character
to you.
Yes.
And that's one of the things I found quite interesting about you. That you, outside of TV, you're totally different.
No.
If you know this guy, oh my goodness, the seriousness in it.
Yeah.
I remember this one particular story, and I don't want us to dwell on it. But I remember this one particular story you told me about. Actually, I think I was there or something. But this guy came, and he was kind of half drunk.
Yeah.
And then he came and to your tummy.
Yeah.
I remember. I think it was in Marotile Park or something.
No, it was in Soweto Alka Stadium. And there was a show there. So because people know me as a funny guy, right? So I'm walking in with Rapulana. We are going to that show, and this guy is going, hey, Makenzo. Now stop that. Stop it. And we're in the queue. You know, you're supposed to go in, hey, but he keeps going, hey, Makenzo. I'm like, hey, comrade, stop that. I really don't like what you're doing.
And I'm sure they think you're joking at first.
No, it's not. That's what people think all the time.
Yeah.
And the third time he goes, my kids was going.
Yeah, well,
and then he comes, and I grabbed him nicely, and I was like, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I said, stop that.
Oh my God.
And then we kept moving. Kept it moving.
No. I think for me, it was at Marutele Park. You were with Dropulana as well.
Oh, yeah.
And the guys kept on coming,
Yeah.
and I think they were quite
Oh, yes,
excited.
Marutele Park.
In Pretoria.
Yeah.
it was my first time wearing a Pirates t-shirt.
Yes, and I read one
Yes.
too.
We actually
remember
still
that
have that
picture.
photo.
Yes.
We still have that photo. And these guys kept on coming to you, and you said, guys, we all came here to have fun, right? So can you just allow us?
Please.
Can you allow us to enjoy ourselves?
Can we have fun? Yeah. You know, when I take my kids, this Kaya FM Kentucky thing is Zulek.
Yeah.
I'm with my children and Utumi, my ex-wife, and we are with the children and Siplomi Lapana, you know, picnic kind of thing. You know, it's so nice. And then I get these parents who keep coming to me to drag me to take pictures with their kids. And I'm like,
you've got my own.
Yeah.
Nabami. And that time it's not even about the child who wants a picture, it's you, mama, who wants a picture. Because the child doesn't know me from above. So it's you.
And you're saying, my kids love you.
You're using children. Stop using children. You're abusive mother. You know, because now I can't spend time with my own, right? And recently, something that was fascinating. So with Jen and Roblano, we were in Cape Town, and Justice Malala,
Yeah.
you know, with his wife, is there with the kids. And they came up with this beautiful way of dealing with things. Like when you go to the mall, half the time people will say, "Let's Tombi too," and then I just give it to your child. So your child is a photographer and all that. And I don't like that, because then when I'm with them, I'm with them. When I'm alone, it's okay, you know? These kids walking down the street, they decided to be CIA. They were the ones who were supposed to protect Trump, I'm telling you.
Yeah.
When we walk, they'll walk, Papa, we walk fast.
Yes.
And they be sharp in your ears, okay, sharp. And we walk. As soon as they see somebody like grabbing a phone, fan on the right, fan on the left, let's go, fan on the right, fan on the left, fan on the right. But it became so nice for them, because then it becomes exciting for them as well to go there. But now we can run away from them. You know what I mean?
And it's quite interesting because, you know, one of the things that I find, certainly with our children as well, you know, and this is the question I want to put to you. Growing up in an environment of a parent who is well known, right? And observing how people treat you, or they seek to treat you, you know, and your responses to that, and how it affects them, you know, because they know, your children know that this is not somebody from TV.
Yes.
This is somebody from home.
This is my dad.
That's that.
This is from,
and they discovered very late. You know, in their lives, they just never understood. I mean, there's a point where my daughter, who's 13 now, she used to look at me and watch on TV and look at me and why are you there and here?
And here.
Oh, my,
At the same time. I remember those days.
And it's and later they realize Papa is Papa's job. You know, and it's not our job. Right? And so we are not responsible for Papa. Papa magalapa at some point magat angfuni. We understand. You know, go to Papa. He's not being rude. He's saying, can I have time with my kids? You know, as much as Papa has time sometime with my guys, can I just take a picture with them? And I want to, and they don't mind. You know, I'm blessed with the kids that I have.
That's good.
I am so blessed. And I promise you, it has nothing to do with me. It has everything to do with my mother, my sister, and the upbringing. Because those people were very much part of their lives. So they are kids who are respectful. Right? They're kids. They make their mistakes and they do things at some point. But when you get to a point where, like the other time, we went shopping maybe for a couch, let's say choreographed, for that matter. And as I get there, I'm like, I sit them and I'll go and run around, whoever. And this white lady goes like, are these your children? They are so disciplined.
Thank you.
Because why? Because you'll see many of these white kids, especially jumping around, people so fast. Don't even come to my house and do that.
No.
Sit down.
No.
I saw that. I think you was it at Soweto Theatre?
Yes,
a couple of years ago.
Yes, when I came with them.
You came with them, and oh my God, I did the same thing because I was like, okay.
Oh yeah.
Who are these young ladies who are so disciplined?
Oh yes, you came. Yes.
The way they respect your craft, for me, that was the take.
Yes.
Abantwana bakho, they respect your work and your craft so much that when they get there, they know.
That's work.
That's daddy's work. It's not a social sort of gathering. And how did you get them to that?
Well, the reality, it goes back to the upbringing. You know.
I hope I won't go too strict.
Well, I am say you're strict.
I am strict. I am strict, but obviously I have time for fun. I mean, I do TikTok with them and all that, but they know what. There's a difference between me and the guy on television.
Gotcha.
You know? What happens is that abantwana, they can only learn from what you teach them. Right? If you guys come to my house and they're visitors and they find you there, they'll probably come and say Sanbonani and greet and all that. And somebody will maybe whisper and say, or something like that. We get water or something, and then they'll go to the holes. Disappear. You know, and I'm not with the kids that are going to be coming here as we are having a conversation. And like, hey, mama, and like, hey. No, promise. I'll tell you a story about a relationship that I was trying to have not so long ago. And that's one of the things that was the biggest turn-off for me.
Yes.
That was one of the things that was the biggest turn-off for me. Because I thought to myself, and we agreed, you know what? We've done these relationship things, right? We've done these marriage things. You know, but let's try this thing. But we keep to our spaces, right? We keep to our space. I keep to my space. We introduce the children. You know, when maybe weekend over this way, maybe weekend over that way. You know, that kind of like fluid, nice relationship without having to be stuck together for the whole time. And then she's brought up her kids a certain way. I've brought up mine in a certain way. So we happen to be at her house. And we've got visitors and friends and all that. So we have this conversation every 2 minutes. Somebody comes. Every 2 minutes. Then I'm like, hey, stop it. Go to your room.
So you are saying?
I'm saying that.
To her kids?
To her kids. I mean, they know me, but still, kids are just kids to me. And I saw her look. And then I knew this was going to work.
This wasn't going to go anywhere. This wasn't going to go anywhere. Talking about that, I want to go.
I think I've jumped around.
No, we jumped around. And I don't want you to jump around because I want us to start from your first marriage.
Yes.
Oh my gosh.
My first marriage.
Your first marriage.
Yes.
Obviously, it came as a shock later.
Yes.
Because we had met you guys before. And then later we hear, oh no, you know.
Sometimes I would get flight tickets for free.
We're not going
that was the second marriage, eh?
That was the second.
Okay, I'm talking about the first.
Okay, the first.
The very first.
I didn't mention the airlines.
No. The very first. Hey, before he gets you into trouble. The very first marriage, Kenneth, personally, looking at the two of you, I thought, oh, geez, okay. What an incredible sort of couple. Till this day, I never understood what really went wrong there.
Now I'll just maybe start by introducing how I met these people.
Sure.
Right? This is me having broken up with a lady that I was with in Swaziland. We broke up and I'm alone. We are chilling at a place called Times Square in Yeovil. I'm with friends in this particular table. We are having our ones and twos. It's a Friday, it's a Thursday afternoon. And then there's a bunch of 5 girls who just come and sit at the other table. And my eye catches this one. This one. You know, and I'm like checking out on her and at some point I think the ladies all go to the loo and they leave her with the bags.
Oh, okay.
I'm thinking opportunity.
That's the time,
So because you don't want to be approaching 5 girls at the same time.
No. It can go wrong.
It can go very wrong very quickly. So I go there, hi, Johnny. No, man, Kenneth, and you are, Nobuntu. Okay, hi. No, Imogen. She introduced herself, Imogen. That's an English name. No, nice meeting you and all that. Hey, you're beautiful. Okay, sure, nice, okay. And small talk like that, you know, because I'm just not good with... I'm not good with this, but yes. But as I was about to finish, while I was still with her, and then I can see the group is coming back. No, just nice meeting you.
Yes.
Okay, cool. Bye. Go back to the table. Forget about it. So later, there was this thing called tandoori, where Appleseed and Admiral used to do this on a Thursday night.
I remember, yes.
So I decided that night I'm going to go up, there, and we are going up there. I'm like, you're like nice and lead the palace.
Yes.
Buffalo soldier. Man, it's a bar.
I remember this face, Mos.
There's this face again.
Yes.
But now I'm no longer in the good space.
Yes,
I'm
yes. You are Buffalo soldier.
I'm the Buffalo soldier. Now I've got a little bit of confidence.
Yes,
because I'm Buffalo soldier.
Yeah.
But as she's looking at me, she goes like, Jonga, I'm Bekaya. I'll go right, I'm Bekaya.
You kidding?
I listened to her.
Did she say it?
I listened to her. I went down, took a meter taxi at the time. I don't think I had a car. Meter taxi. I went straight home.
Oh, wow.
Went straight home. Friday, Saturday. Sunday morning, me and Raplano used to have this tradition of buying newspapers and reading them together in the morning.
Yeah.
Right? If you are not at this place, my place.
Yeah.
So we come to my place, he comes to my place, and we usually sit outside in my flat in pa. Man, I can see this one woman walking down there in a pipe. Hey! But we go on. How many pipe there's on Dwayne?
Yeah.
We are busy. I read our paper, we'll chill it the whole day. We have more friends coming over. Literally sit there the whole afternoon. This lady is coming back this way. That girl?
Don't tell me no.
Is that girl? It's Nobuntu.
Are you kidding?
I'm like, yo,
But at that time,
this must say something.
I have to marry you
Right,
now.
come on. This must be something. Where are you? Where do you stay? She's my neighbor. I didn't even know. That's how the relationship began.
Oh, wow.
Well, we became friends for about 7 months or something like that.
Yeah.
And we started dating 4 months into it. She was pregnant. We moved on together with our first daughter, Ondando.
Oh, wow.
And that's what happened, right?
Yeah.
But then in moving on with the life is what happened. The table of 5 girls to 1 girl standing.
Yeah.
I never understood that.
Yeah.
Right? Because I've never left my crew, never left my friends.
Got you.
Because my friends to me were a pillar somehow.
Yeah.
Where they were right or wrong, I don't care.
Yeah.
For me, they were the people that when I wanted to vent and everything, they were there for me.
Yeah.
So, but then she lost all of them.
Oh, wow.
All of a sudden, then she became my friend alone.
Okay.
So now it became about Friday Awuko and all those things that started building up, you know. I mean, there are certain things that I probably will never be able to go into details with, but our relationship, going back to the father again, started getting tough, rough, physical, abusive, verbally, you know. Somehow this happened. You know, and then a lot of mistrust and a lot of lies. The more, you know, things really happened in that marriage, you know. And I will be able to say and proudly say that she was the first woman I was with, and I knew that I loved her completely.
Oh, wow.
And I knew that I loved her completely. And I there are certain things that people talk about red flags. I hate that.
Yeah.
That maybe I did not acknowledge, and she did not, or from my end as well.
Yes.
And then things just went south. I mean, by the time our second daughter was born, things were like really not well in our lives, and there was a lot of fights. There was a lot of cheating from my end.
Yeah.
You know, because I was better home. I was better out there than home, because sometimes I hated coming home.
Yeah.
Right. I would rather be there. I remember this one time when she said to me, hey, please come back on Friday. On Friday, please, we want to be with you. We want to spend time with you.
Yeah.
I was like, okay, that's cool. So I'm chilling at the Market Theatre. There's a place called the Yard of Ale, and we're chilling with my friends. And at 6:30, I keep warning my friends, go to buffet. At 7 o'clock,
Gotta go.
I gotta go. Queue, it's just highway is here.
Yeah.
10 minutes, I'm there.
Yeah.
You know, it's not that bad. So cool. I know we agree on that. It's all good. 2. Guys, as I'm about to walk, my phone rings. And when it rings, this no, I'm on my way. The chilo. No.
Yeah.
Bring back that bill.
Yeah.
Another round.
Yeah. On me.
On me.
Yeah.
You see, because then
Oh, man.
I was hating where I was going.
Gotcha.
I was really hating where I was going. I'd rather be here. You know?
Yeah.
And then emotionally, I was not intelligent at all.
Yeah.
Emotionally, I was messed up and I was not even aware that I'm messed up.
Gotcha.
Right? I was messed up but not knowing, right, no one can ever teach you how to be a father or how to be a husband.
Yeah.
But maybe I never put enough effort in trying to make a good husband.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Much as I wanted to be a good husband, but I don't think I made an effort. I remember this one time, and I said this. I said this to people, and people think I'm crazy. I'm having a horrible time at home.
Yeah.
I come to Kippies at Market Theatre, and I chill outside Kippies, and I order a drink. I'm sitting outside, and comes this guy. I don't know this guy, but he's here to fetch his child who was in the classes at the Market Theatre at the time. I think it was a Saturday. And goes, I'm good. You're doing well with your career, man. Things are working well and all that. No, I'm like, thank you, my brother, and all that. And the home is good. This guy, I didn't even have to explain to him about what's going on at home. What he says to me, he says, just put the same effort you put at your work at home.
Oh.
Yeah. That hit.
Yeah. Oh, that hits, eh?
And then the next thing is, I'm going to a toilet, I'm coming back now. Disappeared. Never seen that person ever again.
Wow.
I was like, this is God sent. I don't know who is this.
Sure.
And I went home to try and do exactly that. But unfortunately, I did not have tools. I did not know better how to make that work. Right? I'm that guy who was ready to walk away.
Yeah.
Okay? Yeah. It's a fuck.
Yeah.
You know. So I was not intelligent at all in terms of emotional and all that. And then, so my focus was just about the kids, but then I forgot that in wanting to make the kids great, you've got to take care of their mother as well and take care of that environment as well. So that, because the things that I've seen, my children, poor kids, you know, the things that I've seen, and I wouldn't wish it to anybody because things were tough, you know, and we were rough with each other, you know.
In front of the kids.
In front of the kids. In front of the kids.
And I always say this just about that, Tukuti. Often what we do as couples, we would often try and avoid conflicting or having a disagreement in front of the children.
Yes.
With the thought that we don't want our children to see and so on. Yes. And we are coming from the opposite school.
Yes.
You know, have the disagreement in front of the kids, but the important thing is
the how.
It's the how you have the disagreement and how you your children need to learn to see you committed to resolving issues. Number one, but also number two, you're not leaving. You know, you are not leaving because we have a disagreement. You can't go because if you go, I'm going to follow you wherever you're going. You know, and that is the thing. But I want to segue into the whole thing about the father and all of that. How much of your father not being there do you think has had an impact in your relationships and the fact that as you say, you know, hey, and you know what I'm saying, that kind of because I asked that question because that's the background I come from. That's one of the connecting things between me and you. I come from a background where my father was never there. And you know, you grow up with a whole lot of, I'm talking about me, whole lot of abandonment issues and the fact that, you know, at the slightest, disagreement. Okay, so you know what I mean.
To pack,
So how much of that?
90%.
Do you think?
90% of that. Right. I grew up in an environment where, when I left home, where things bonela. I mean. I got me.
Same.
I always got me. You know. When you come come into my life. You must come into my life knowing that I always got me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right? If you're gonna threaten me about or I know how to do all those things. I always got me.
Yeah.
So I've never relied on anybody else.
Yeah.
Which is because I've never had anybody to rely on.
Yeah.
You know, especially in terms of fatherhood.
Yeah.
You know, and I left home wanting to take care of me.
Yeah.
You know, and there was so much anger around my father. Yeah. I was so angry with that man, and I did not understand for a longest time that's exactly what was affecting me.
Yeah.
That's what was making me angry with other people, impatient with other people, don't care about other people. You know, I always used to say this thing about me. Now I'll tell you the truth. I'll give you the brutal fruit.
Yeah.
Which is the brutal truth. I'll give the brutal. I mean, I'll tell you straight up.
Yeah.
Straight talker type.
I'm that. But I realized that in doing that for myself, because it releases stuff.
Yeah, yeah.
But it's hurting the next person.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's damaging the next person.
Yeah.
You know, but for me, for the longest time, it was like, Kenneth, deal with it.
Deal with it. It's amazing how we don't want to be like where we come from.
Yes, and we
end up do the same
exactly.
thing.
You know, that's exactly what Rabbi said at some point in my life. It was like, you know, we end up becoming what
what you hate the most.
What you hate the most. Yeah. And I know that I've become that.
Yeah.
I've become that, you know. And then my first wife, and the marriage ends, and it doesn't end well.
Yeah.
No, she takes the kids to Cape Town, and I'm angry about that, and I fight. 2 years later, I'm able to get my kids back.
Yeah.
Right. They stay with my mother a bit, and then all of a sudden I'm in another relationship.
Oh yes, that one.
The second marriage.
Yes.
That one. Yeah.
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 So
The
now,
one that more benefited from. Apparently.
I'm not sure about that. Not sure about that. But yes, that one.
Yeah.
I met this beautiful woman, and we meet in Cape Town. We just released. In fact, we were just doing a press junket for Nkosi.
Yes.
You know, and we are in this hotel, and as we're sitting in this hotel, the lights go off. You know, and they send everybody down to the restaurant, and we're all sitting there. And then there's these people in their uniform, so Papa, the Papa in uniform.
Yeah.
And I started having a chat with this human being,
Yeah.
you know, with her friends and other colleagues, and we're friends, and then we exchange numbers.
Another table with 5 girls.
Yeah.
Well, no girls. There were 2 captains with a man, and there were 2 girls.
Yeah.
So the table say, okay, and
amatafula they end up
What? There's a pattern here.
amatafula they end up turning upside down.
I see what it is. I see what it is.
Amatafula so bad, yeah.
Yeah.
So I know it's all good. You know, 2 weeks later, she's down in Joburg. She goes, I'm from Tembisa, okay, sharp, but I stay in Natural. And I'm like, we exchange numbers, it's all good. I'm in a dating stage right now. I'm not with anybody
You're
in my life.
available, yeah.
I'm very available. The mother is still there somewhere. My mom down, you know, we try this thing. 3 months down the line, I'm thinking, no, man. I want to go back home.
Yeah.
I want to go back home. Yeah. And I decide, tell this girl, and she freaks out and all that. And because she was ready to move on, to move in with me and do everything with me at that time. She was ready. To me, loved me. That girl loved me, you know. And I went back home, and when I got there, I discovered that things haven't changed, and they are not going to change.
Yeah.
So you went back.
I went back. I went back briefly, and I could see that it's not going to happen.
Yeah.
Let's just call it quits, and I did, right?
Yeah.
And then I thought, let me find another relationship. I see. In fact, I was not even looking.
Yeah.
No, man. To be honest, I'm being silly. Mina, I was having another relationship back to back from Mcholo, back to back. I never got myself a break.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
And I went straight to this one as well. We went on and we thought, why not? 5 years down the line, we got married, right? We had our child, right? Have I dealt with the first wife?
No, certainly.
And I'm with the second wife.
Yeah.
So what
And
happened there?
you still have 2 kids from the
Yes,
first wife,
the
right?
first wife. And they're staying with us now.
Yeah.
With the second wife. And now, and she
The
gets
new
her own
one. So
child.
you've got 3 now.
Now I've got 3, right? So I still haven't dealt with whatever that I was supposed to deal with.
Yeah. Sure.
Right? So then I look at it I've always been the person that loves. You know? I've never been a receiver of love.
Yeah.
I've been giving love.
Yeah.
And for the first time somebody was giving it to me, and I just never understood how to receive it. I never understood how to receive it because I'm just not used to it.
Yeah.
Right? And then in my brain I was like, why does this feel like a rebound?
Okay.
Sure.
I love this girl, but it feels like a rebound. And I remember in our relationship that she's always thought that I'll always go back to my first wife. I think she thought that all the rubbish I'm bringing from there. And one day I'm going to go back there.
Sure.
She's always never been sure of herself.
Yeah.
She's only discovered that was never going to happen when we both divorced.
Oh, wow.
That's when I said, I was never going to go there. I kept on, reassurance. I'm not going back there.
But you know why?
But the pattern was the same from the first marriage. Yeah?
I think because at some point you went back to your first wife.
Yes.
That could have been a bit of a bother for her.
Yeah.
How do I know now if you're not going to have whatever feeling that you had that made you to say, let's give it a try?
Yeah.
You know, which is understandable for, obviously, every woman.
No, I understand that completely. I understand that completely. But the insecurities never ended. And what happened is that then my insecurities as well. Because remember, I'm coming from a place where trust in you.
From childhood.
From childhood.
To relationships.
Trust in you has never been my thing, And I know that I'm experiencing it even now. And it's just that now I'm more conscious about it and I think about it more, but I know that I am. Yeah. I do feel this insecurities and in somebody, maybe I'm tired, okay.
What's the catch?
What's the catch? There's always a catch.
Sure. Yeah. That is so hard, though.
So I still need help with that.
Yeah.
Got you.
Right? Yeah. Right now, it's been, what? We've been divorced from what? 5 years now? 5, 6 years? I haven't been in a completely steady relationship. It's always been dating and all that. And sometimes I get in and I find out there's like, I can't violent. And I end up coming up with this thing, not all of us are meant to be married.
Yeah.
Sure. It's not even about that, Kenneth. I know that research says, when you've been divorced twice, chances of you being able to commit are quite slim. For the same reason that you kind of feel like your eyes, you're checking out everything. And it's easy for you to spot sometimes even things that are not meant to.
I can spot PS from a distance.
No, sometimes things that are not even meant in that way. For you, let's take an example of this child.
Yes.
You're dating this woman, and then umntwana wakhe is ill-disciplined.
Yes.
And I get it for you. You were like, I'm leaving.
Yeah, I'm not
going to stand this because now you have raised kids.
Yes.
So you kind of have a certain way of raising children.
Yes.
So when you're finding this other person who's raising their kids different from the way that you have raised them, it kind of...
And trust me, I love the kids to bits, but I know that it was going to affect us.
Correct.
Later on.
Later on, it was going to affect us.
Look, it's a major, you see, raising up children is a major thing in everybody's life.
Yes,
right?
Yes.
It has an impact not just on the kid's life, but on your life as well.
True.
So when you invest yourself in a child and you see the child growing up, and you see yourself in the child in terms of the values that you've instilled and so on, when you see the next child of somebody else, you almost want a recreation of what you have seen, in your own child. But when you don't see it, then you kind of feel like it's going to be a waste of time because these ones have grown up as well.
Exactly.
Then we're going to fight, with the mother.
But,
and so I see that.
Do I want to be there?
Do I want to be part of all of
But
that?
guys, there's also a level of impatience, that exists. This is me. I kind of feel like sometimes you need to be careful of such because you might miss up on a good relationship.
Yeah.
On something superficialish like that where it can be changed. I mean, if Umtwana is raised differently from what you are used to, you could sit with this woman and say, okay, I love you and I think there is potential for this relationship.
Right.
However, these are a few things that I kind of feel.
You see, but what I mean, the difference is that no, listen, I met my first wife with a child. I was an instant dad.
Yeah.
Oh,
right?
she had a child.
She had a child.
Oh,
I was an
see.
instant dad.
Yeah. Okay.
So this child was about 2, 3.
Yeah.
You know, and I was like that before my kids were even born. My own were born. So I was like, and I could tell that she was not impressed with that. I got to go, but this is how I go about it.
Yeah.
This is how I even deal with my nieces and my nephews.
Yeah.
This is how I go about it.
Yeah.
It's either you take it or you leave it.
Yeah.
But this is how I'm gonna do it.
Yeah.
Sure.
And you know, she only understood it when her child was born.
Yeah.
That I was doing the same thing.
Yeah.
It's not like
That
you
it
were
was not-
You see,
favoring.
I was favoring, that was not my child. That's why I'm treating. So she saw that later. But then when they are older, what do? You just pray with God, they're going to leave home and go to varsity.
And then
But then how's that? Because you want to have a relationship. If you're going to be a good blended
That's
family,
not healthy, though.
it's not healthy.
Yeah.
You know? So it became difficult for me to have a relationship. But then I tried another one 2 years ago. Tried the relationship, which I thought this could work. Yeah. It could work.
where is that?
And it was also and it was all blame. It was all blame. It was all blame.
Ay, don't tell me what
It was all blame.
What happened?
Trust me. We have this relationship with this woman, and I was in another relationship before, but I don't know, things were just not working. Then we bond with this one, and we do the most stupid thing, and we go on to sleep without a condom. 4 months later, she's pregnant.
Ah, which one now?
That time, no, the latest.
The 2 years ago one.
The 2 years ago.
Ah, yeah.
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 And then we discover, no, man, there's a push and pull. We don't know each other.
Yes.
And then she's pregnant now.
Yes.
And she's coming with the emotions and the hormonal crap that I can't deal with in that space.
Yeah.
We don't know how to get to know each other.
Yeah.
You know, the child is born. 6 months later, I'm like, then there are red flags that I could see now from a distance. What are red flags? And remember, it was around the time of COVID, so money was less. And when somebody will say to you, just be patient, and somebody turns around and says, I got your patience.
I got your patience sometimes.
I was like,
Only their invoice.
get the comrade. Nah. Let's do this co-parenting thing. It'll be okay.
Yeah.
I'm at the point where I'm not even able to live with anybody now.
I got the Kenneth.
I'm not.
No.
Like I'm saying, maybe I'm the one who's sick.
Yeah.
I'm not saying anything wrong about anybody else. All I'm saying is that I sometimes even with dating, somebody visiting me at my place, just 2 days, I'm like, go. I just love how that plant stays there.
Yeah.
Stop moving things.
I'm like that.
I see you.
You know, and that's when it comes back to maybe I'm just not meant for this marriage thing. Because I have to share with people. Maybe my selfishness doesn't allow me to share.
Yeah.
You know, and I'm at peace when I'm with myself. Right now, my kids know. I lock myself in my bedroom. I don't want disturbance. I'm okay.
Yeah.
You're not dying or anything.
I'm not dying. I just need I spend so much time of my life out there in the world. Entertaining people. I go to the mall. People expect me to be a certain way. I have to act that. So that by the time I get home, I'm drained and I just want my space.
Chill.
Right? And I want a space where somebody can be able to be supportive. Somebody can be. I cannot be getting home and I'm having more stress.
Yeah.
Got you.
No, we hear you, but
it is that.
For me, I think I get what you're saying.
I'm sure and not because I haven't tried. I mean, especially with my last marriage with Tumi, we tried counseling. I mean, she attends Matebula restoration. We attended the classes. We tried and went to Prajeri Mufukeng as well. We tried.
Yeah.
Oh,
you know? But guess what? I promise you, and I'm still saying it right now, our relationship manager is much better than it. If me and her had to go back together now, we probably won't even get married again.
Yeah.
But we'll be buddies.
You'll still be...
We'll be okay.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
Right now, because that's what I saw. I saw the change after our divorce where we could see each other.
Appreciate each other more.
Appreciate each other more.
Yeah.
Because I've never dated a woman I do not like.
Yeah.
Before I can love you or fall in love with you, I must like you.
Like you first.
So that even if me and you don't work, I still like Pinky.
Even afterwards.
Even
you know
afterwards.
what I mean?
Pinky is now with Mo. Hey, well, whatever. It depends.
Yeah.
You know, which is why some of them will come with their boyfriends in my house and I'll be okay.
Yeah.
I mean, they came to drop off the kid or they're coming to visit the kid with their boyfriend. I'm like, get Joe. Maybe. My shy beer, sharp. But the boyfriends are shy and all that. I don't have a problem with that.
Yeah.
So I want at some point that beautiful blended family that works.
Gotcha.
The key word is that works.
That works. Yeah. But you've got to put the work all of us.
Yeah.
You see, the thing about it must be, it cannot be, I'm blaming this human being for this. It must be, I'm taking responsibility. You know, one of the exercises that Plachero gave us at some point was take a piece of paper, write everything that you think you're contributing towards the downfall of your marriage.
Yes.
Now we bala, sharp bala, quality page, bala sharp, but swap and get quality page that funda when. Fundile, I'm sure funde for his kind of say it.
Because there was a long list.
Yours was long.
Was long.
Okay.
Then when it came back to it, it was just 2.
Aww.
But I never understood the 2. But the 2 then, it was about, you made me do this. That's when Project go like, you've missed the point.
Yeah.
Yes.
What
is your contribution?
So if your life is the way it is because of this guy, there must be a problem right somewhere there. So to me, is that taking responsibility for your own mistakes as well, so that you can be able to build something. If you don't take responsibility, I don't know. You never know. Starting a new relationship is hard work.
It is.
Yeah.
We know this from friends.
It is. Friendships and all.
We just don't have time
anymore. Man.
But you know, look, I still believe that there is.
I'm a loving soul.
Because I know you.
I'm a loving soul.
Because I know you, I still believe that there is somebody out there.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And we can get you somebody out there. We can bring you somebody out there.
Yeah, I know. I'm sure.
No, but the first one was figured out.
Church girls wrong.
But
I don't have any problem with church, by the way.
No, you shouldn't have a problem with church. I mean, you grew up in a church family.
Yeah.
But where to from here for you? What are you working on?
Yes.
Relationship-wise?
Yes. Well, I'm working on myself.
Yes, that's important.
I really am trying, and it's a struggle, you know. But you can't teach an old dog new tricks. I'm 51 now. Because maybe I want to be ready for somebody who wants to really be with me. Right? And you know, the older you get, you know, the people who get more and more attracted to you are younger. Gotcha. You know, and maybe now I'm attracted to younger ones.
Yeah.
And they still have a lot to deal with.
Yeah.
Right? They still want children.
Yeah.
You know, they want marriage.
Priorities
Maybe that's not where I'm
different.
at. Our priorities are different.
Yeah.
So I'm praying for someone that will get to that point where we are cool wherever we're at.
That's good.
And just really love each other and commit to each other. Because that's more like it. I think that's what you guys say all the time. I mean, I listen to your podcast. I watch you guys. It's about that commitment that you make. Because love fluctuates, right?
Yes.
You know, we might love someone, but tomorrow hate them because they left their socks. Someone. You know, and that's somebody that could be able to commit to me as a person completely. When I'm talking about me, I'm not talking about my children. I'm not talking about my family. I'm not talking about anybody around me. I'm talking about me. And have focus be there. I mean, I told somebody that recently that I really want, and you know, I love that girl because she was so honest with me. And she said to me, you know what you're looking for? I know you're not gonna get it from me.
Wow.
I'm not there. And you know how,
appreciate that.
But you know how stupid the brain and the heart works? Then I got more attracted to her because of her honesty.
Because I can't fool me.
The hunter in you woke up. The hunter.
Oh, guys.
Oh, man. Oh, man. Our time is up. Our time is up, man.
Oh, my word.
We certainly hope that you enjoyed this conversation because we did. And it felt so short because
it does feel so short.
I really did want to get into.
We didn't get to all your relationships.
Well, we did, but there are certain aspects. You know what I mean? There are certain aspects that we want to get to, but we hope that with that which Kenneth has allowed us into his life, we hope that you really, really were able to glean and often sometimes see yourself, in some of the things and maybe learn, as well because. Much as we always say that there is no exercise book for this thing called life, sometimes we learn through people's experiences, and that's certainly why this platform exists. It's Love, Marriage, and Family Podcast.
Yeah, thank you once again for joining us and for watching. And remember, keep on subscribing to the podcast. And thank you until we meet again next time.
Keep subscribing.
Subscribe.
Like. Ding.
Comment.
Thank you for having me, you guys.
Thank you so much.